Donors in Brussels are pledging €9.6 billion in loans and grants to people in Syria, as well as refugees in the surrounding area. The money is meant to help 15 million people inside the embattled country, as well as those neighbouring countries hosting Syrian refugees, which themselves are in a dire economic situation. But the amount falls just short of the €10.1 billion asked for by the United Nations in a humanitarian appeal at the 7th conference of its kind, held in the Belgian capital.
This is a crisis that actually affects, of course, the people concerned, but also all the neighbouring countries and the rest of the world. We have to support the resilience of communities, basic services, the local economy in a way that makes it possible for people to uphold their agency.
The earthquake that hit Turkey and Syria in February has only served to worsen the crisis, and local NGOs on the front line say they cannot cope. Euronews spoke to one that's operating in the rebel-held northwestern area, where 1,200 volunteers are trying to help young women and children. They're also running 2 maternity wards and 2 hospitals for primary care.
We need the flexible funding that we can mobilize and utilize immediately when we have disasters. We have to keep our capacity for the emergency response, the security situation, especially with having any expected military operation is something like making the life harder and harder. And we have to take a lot of measures.
Of the 6.8 million Syrians that left the country, around 5 million are not so far from home. Turkey is hosting more than 3 million refugees, with the rest spread mainly over Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq and Egypt. But leaders of these countries are increasingly talking about sending them back home. One argument is that there's no prospect for a viable political alternative to the current Syrian regime, particularly since the Arab League readmitted President Assad in May after being expelled when the civil war began in 2011.
If Syria's neighbouring countries move from words to deeds and start repatriating Syrian refugees after hosting them for more than 10 years, it's likely there will be changes in the migration flows. Instead of going back home, Syrian refugees might try to get a safe haven elsewhere, and Europe is a likely destination. Isabel Marques da Silva, Euronews, Brussels.